Hey, what is up? Welcome to the second part of this R.I.P playthrough in Plants vs Zombies. Today, we'll actually be discussing a very different topic from last time. Last time we discussed suicide. In case you haven't seen the last episode, I recommend you do check it out. Now, today I want to talk about something completely different. I'm going to talk about porn. I think, specifically, I was watching this one podcaster. His name is Matan. Now, he's kind of like the Eric Andre show where he's basically trolling his guests. And it's not supposed to be taken super seriously, I guess. But the thing was, when he had Bonnie Blue over. Now, in case you haven't heard of who Bonnie Blue is, you can actually go and Google her right now. But it's this OF model, porn star, that was very famous for having slept with, like, I think it was like 1,000 men in 24 hours. Maybe it was 100, I'm not completely sure. I don't want to say some misinformations, right? But a very, very important point of my talk today, and the reason why I'm delving into this topic specifically, is that I was thinking for quite a bit, and I thought that I will think out loud about it. What is it that she is doing to harm other people? And I was really thinking, and I genuinely couldn't come up with, I genuinely could not come up with a thing that she does to harm other people. I don't know if I'm just like stupid. That may be the case, I don't know. I just couldn't figure it out. So once we really think about it, so who is Bonnie Blue? Let's first off start with that. And let's then talk more about OnlyFans and this whole industry, right? Now, in case you don't know, porn is one of the biggest parts of why the internet is so advanced today. Not that it wouldn't have existed, but let's be real. People did want to jerk off. We've always had this in us, this sexual desire. It's part of the human nature, and it helped people develop the internet more rapidly, I would say. There's some like actual statistic, but I don't want to say some like lies on this podcast, right? Maybe it was like the internet evolved 50% faster thanks to porn or whatever, but who knows? Let's not try and go into the details, right? The more important point is porn clearly affected how fast internet developed. So we can really see that is a very common thing. Like, we've all watched porn before. Most of the guys watching this can safely say that they have at least seen porn. And most of the guys watching this can even say that they do watch porn still. I'm going on a nofap streak right now. First of all, I have a girlfriend, so it's much easier for me. But second of all, I mean, I've even done it when I was single, and it's great. Like, it's like having a mental diet. Now onto the topic of Bonnie Blue and these OF models. So, what are these people doing, right? Like, they record themselves doing things that, well, you can jerk off to. That's like the most simple thing to say it. Like, it can be anything. The thing with OnlyFans is that you have these specific things that you can do for the customer. Like, a guy can text you like, hey, if you do this, I'll send you $50. Like, and it can be a request of you spreading your toes on your feet and yelling out, I don't know, like some stupid shit. Now, people have kinks and they've always had this. And always prostitution, like I don't want to call OnlyFans prostitution, it's a bit different. It's not physical. Always prostitution had this kind of stigma around it, seeing it as kind of evil. But the worst part of it, in my opinion, is not calling it evil in the essence of the thing. Because I do think that it's a very... Oh no, I'm gonna have to fucking... Bro, okay, that's unfortunate. Like, it's a very desperate thing to do as a man. I cannot imagine myself paying for a sexual pleasure to have sex with someone. That just seems so... I don't know. That doesn't even seem like hot to me. But I cannot also imagine myself like going at the woman's face, calling her a whore. I've said this before in my dating video, where I've said that I don't even have such a major problem with higher body counts. The thing that I mostly have a problem with is women sleeping with idiots. That to me is very unseductive, right? So, like, a girl having history with a Chad that is actually a cool guy, like, how is that any unreasonable? Like, maybe the guy was a manipulator. Hey, there's nobody trying to manipulate us. Like, us men. Like, if we were getting manipulated by women to have sex with them, like, we'd probably be having sex with them as well. We would like it, but it's not happening. It may seem like some kind of envy. The whole point of this discussion is that, let's go back to the Bonnie Blue. People on the internet, they fucking hate Bonnie Blue. Like, despise Bonnie Blue, honestly. And I don't think it's only Bonnie Blue, it's the whole thing it represents. It's just taken to an extreme. And could it be envy? You would never say that a person like Bonnie Blue is better than you in something. Like, that's, when you're envious of someone, would you ever say that he's better? No, you always say something worse. Like, this bitch, she's a whore. You downgrade the people that you envy. There's always a shit ton of people calling OnlyFans models whores and porn stars whores. Now, so was Matan on that show. And to me, personally, like, even though I'm not watching porn right now, I'm clearly, like, actively fighting it against it, if you can call it that. I don't know, it isn't exactly that. I know I'm not, like, actively... Well, I kind of am, because I'm talking about this on my YouTube channel. And, you know, the benefits are incredible. It's a terrible habit to have. And it changes your life a lot. Like, I've said before, that as a guy, if you clean your room, or your workspace, and you don't jerk off, it is... They are the two most essential things you can do for your life. Like, it helps you so much. Now, even though I'm in this position, so I should technically be saying that, oh fuck Bonnie Blue, she's a whore, she's working in this evil industry. I don't really feel that in me. I don't really have this in me that I would despise her or hate her. And I don't know, why is it that way? Like, is it not normal to not feel that? Because honestly, What do I give a fuck that she slept with 100 or 1,000 men? Yeah, sure, okay, what do I care? And that may be the whole problem in this issue. Like, what are the people, what are the women doing OnlyFans doing that is actually like harming people? Now, you can even look empathetically at the serial killers. Like if you genuinely try and you want to, you can look empathetically on them. There's this one case. This guy, he had this like desire of wanting to kill people. I'm not sure what his name was. Let me go look it up. Okay, I'm back. So let's talk about this, and I think this is very important to hear about. So the guy, his name was Charles Whitman. Now he's just a casual guy. He was in the Navy, I think, and he had a wife that he loved very much. Now this guy, he fucking killed his wife. I think he even killed his mom. I'm not sure. And he killed, like, he went up to a tower and shot like 16 people. Now that is fucking creepy. What the fuck? How is it possible that it turned out that way? Now, in medicine, people have actually studied and talked about this case in universities because of a very important detail. This guy, before he died, he wrote a letter. He wrote that, please examine my brain. After I die, I have an insane desire to kill. So from then, there was like a major thing. We have learned that there is actually something in the brain because motherfuckers found a tumor. They found a tumor in his brain. There actually was something wrong. So, yeah, what he's doing is morally wrong. He's hurting other people, obviously. But he has this desire, and it is so strong that he obviously couldn't resist it. He had this tumor in his brain. So, if you can look empathetically, even on some like most incredible cases. Like, that is possible to do. If it is then possible to do in the case of a mass murderer, why is it not possible to do in a case of a fucking OnlyFans model? And that's where I'm baffled. Like, that's where I don't really understand the issue at hand. Like, I get kind of confused. Because, so what Bunny Blue does, and what any OnlyFans model does, is that they usually take pictures of their naked or half-naked body and post them to the internet. Like, what is new about that? Now, Bunny Blue's case is specific in that she has taken it to the extreme. She has slept with 100 men in one day, or maybe even more. I'm not sure. But what the fuck do we care? Like, how is this? What does the term whore even mean? The term whore, I think, is being used by the people to say that she is easy. Like, her pussy has no price. And I've seen her even like say like, I am a whore. So I think that's quite powerful. That's like an insane move. And I think we might be on some kind of revolution. Because let's try and think about it differently. There's this hedonistic nature. In case you don't know what hedonism is, it's maximizing pleasure and minimalizing pain. You maximize pleasure, you minimize pain. Now, back in the Hellenistic age, there was this one guy called Epicurus, And he said that, okay, you should do that, but do it smartly. Be wise about it. If you go out drinking and you drink a lot and the next day you have an incredible migraine and you feel like shit, well, bro, that wasn't very smart. The problem is, a lot of people nowadays don't really think about it that way. I do agree with Epicurus in this. And I do definitely see that we live in a very hedonistic society. You can see all around you, like people, they scroll on their phone. That is a quick pleasure. People, they drink alcohol. That is a quick pleasure. It is literally dopamine. People, they watch porn, right? What we can identify as quick pleasures are the things that make you feel good in the short run, but in the long term, like, they're not that great for you. Now that's how our attention shortens, because we're stuck on social media. We can even focus for longer. Like, tell me how many people you know around you that like read books, like genuinely read full-length books, and not like some fucking fiction, but like genuine books. Who does that nowadays? I don't mean to sound like a fucking hipster, right? But like, that's so bizarre. So we definitely live in a hedonistic age. There's no doubt about it. Clearly, all of us know who fucking Bonnie Blue is. If I were to say the name of a porn star, I don't fucking know. Like Mia Khalifa. Like, all of us know who she is. There's not a single person listening to this, or minimal. There's a minimal amount of people that wouldn't know who Mia Khalifa is. If that is the case, then why do we get mad at someone else that is living their life hedonistically? Just in a different way, in a more extreme way. And I think a big part of the issue is this comparison we have. Like, oh, okay, well, I may be a hedonist, but I'm home over here, and I'm watching porn, while this woman, she's spreading her legs. She's in the action, she's doing it physically with the other people. Okay, sure, that's could be one way to approach it, I guess. Once you really think about it though, like, if you know women, you know that sex isn't like the most important thing for them. It's quite opposite from how we men have it. I'm sure there's a shit ton of statistics that prove that, just if you compare the amount of times women actually watch porn or masturbate. First of all, not even that many women actually go ahead and watch porn. But second of all, when it comes to masturbation, it is much less frequent in females. That's speaking globally. And you can even hear a lot of the OnlyFans models and porn stars say they're not really in it with the soul. Now, it is still, having sex with someone is an intimate act. But it doesn't mean it has to be at all times. Like, let's try and compare it, right? Like, eating food. Sometimes it can be a pleasure. It can be a very pleasurable thing to do. Sometimes, motherfucker, you're just hungry and you just do it. Like, there's nothing about it. It's just a desire of the body. So we do have this desire in us. I still have the desire, even though I'm not watching porn right now, but I still have the desire to go ahead and jerk off, right? So it's a very natural desire. And try and shame someone for being a part of it, I don't know. It doesn't even make sense to me, honestly. I'm genuinely trying to think what could be the wrong thing. So let's try and think what could be the thing that Bonnie Blue is actually doing wrong in OnlyFans models. Now, one argument is, well, it's not work, go to work. Why? That is my question. Why go to work? Most works, like, people with average intelligence do are just fucking pointless anyway. Genuinely think about it. Like, what, do you want Bunny Blue to be a cashier at a supermarket? Okay, sure, like, you can do that. Or, she can just live a happy life and be fucking miserable. Do whatever she wants to do. And we can have some scientists and some technicians do an automatic cashier system that's like, you don't have to speak to a person and you just go with the thing out of the store. You have an app on your phone, Danzo. We don't need fucking cashiers, right? Like, what do you mean go to work? And that's another big problem I have with this whole issue is like, people like try and like see these OnlyFans models as if they're somehow above them. Like, I know what's right for you, you should go to work. No, you don't have to. Do what you want, it's your life. It's a very anti-philosophical thing, in my opinion, to tell someone what they should do. First of all, it is completely your life, nobody else's. Like, no one is living it for you. And whatever you do, like, no one can stop you, right? Like, just like that guy with his brain all fucked up. No one could stop him. So why get mad about it? Why actually get mad about someone doing something I don't like when it's a person on the internet? Why have we come to the point of caring? So, another thing that could be done wrong in this case is that she is actually directly supporting the industry of porn. But is she really? Like, let's say I am a guy that hates LGBT, right? And I see a homosexual. Now this guy, he was born into circumstances and whatever that made him a homosexual, right? Now, is he directly supporting the idea of LGBT? Like, is he the one that created it? Is it some kind of fucking person that rules all universe and made people gay? Or is he just a part of what happened? Porn just happened. Like, our sexual desire, that just happened due to evolution, due to people being hedonistic. And Bonnie Blue, OnlyFans models, being a part of the industry that it creates, they're not the ones creating the industry. Paradoxically, the people watching porn are the ones that actually do create the industry. So if you ever watch porn, if you've ever watched porn, and even though I don't watch it now, I have watched it before. So if you've ever in your life watched porn, you don't have the right to call porn stars whores, because you have supported the industry. What kind of motivation do you have to do that? And that is really, really interesting to think about. So we have said that envy might be one of the motivators for people to go ahead and call OnlyFans models whores. Why is that the case? Now, you might have heard of this huge male loneliness epidemic. Is it possible that these people, they would like to be sexually active, but they're not? And they're just envious? I think it definitely is possible. It doesn't have to be the case for all the people hating on Bonnie Blue and OnlyFans models. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't necessarily have to be. So that could be one of the reasons. I'm home. I don't really have my life together. I might even not have that much money. I'm doing something that I hate. And then there's this bitch, Bonnie Blue, and she just gets to spread her legs. And that's it. Now, that to me sounds like envy. That to me sounds like insane envy. And another human being. And then you try to bring them down. But like, why though? What good does it do to you? Like, the big thing with envy is that it is reasonable. Like, what Bonnie Blue does, I'm pretty sure it's not that easy, as people say. Like, there's definitely some fucking hard work to it, and you cannot say that there isn't. Like, that would just be stupid. That would just genuinely be ignorant. Like, what hard is it to spread your legs? Like, bro, okay. That's not all she does. But let's really think about it, though. So, why are people envious of OnlyFans models? So first of all, it's doing something that is simple. It gets you a lot of money, even though it doesn't necessarily have to. I think that's where the big part of the skill of actually managing an OnlyFans account is. But I think a very big point and a very important lesson to learn from this video is that, let's try and think about it this way. Is sex something pleasurable? Now, if I'm not mistaken, I would say that yes, it definitely is. So therefore, it would then logically make sense that having sex and doing this stuff would be something pleasurable. Why is this important? Well, let's imagine you're a guy, you're the actual cashier that is going to be replaced by a machine, and then you hate your job. You don't have your life together, you don't know what the fuck to do. And then you see this person, an OnlyFans model. She's there, smiling in her photos. This bitch, she gets to just make so much more money. Doesn't have to try that hard. And she's doing something pleasurable. She's a part of this pleasurable industry. Now, obviously, that doesn't necessarily have to be the case, right? But that's the way that people perceive it. I think a big part of that is why there's so much hate towards it. Because I'm not doing something pleasurable. Well, I am, but people, they see it, and there's obviously a ton of people that can see it this way. Like, what? I'm not doing anything pleasurable. This person just gets to do what they want. It just sounds like pure jealousy. Like, why do they get to do what they want and I don't? Now, where can the people hating on OnlyFans models be right? I think hating the industry alone is good. Like, that is a very good thing to do. To be anti-porn, I support that, and I absolutely advise everyone watching this video to go against it. The reason being is, if you look at anthropology, just a study of humans specifically, or human nature, the genuine connections are very important for us. Like family, those traditions. And I think if we want to do something meaningful with this universe and with this earth and live a great life, you shouldn't really be that hedonistic. On the other hand though, why the fuck shouldn't you, right? Like, okay, so you're saying that Bonnie Blue, like, she can enjoy her life, she can do what she wants. Why can't I? Like, why shouldn't I watch porn? Well, that's up on you, really. I don't really give a fuck what anyone does. But though, let's really think about it. Why not watch porn? What does it do that is wrong? Well, first of all, I don't think you should only see it as black and white, right? Like, porn, it doesn't only have to be wrong. But paradoxically, it can also be a great thing. When does it become wrong? So is it wrong? Is it right? Like, what is this guy talking about? I think first of all we have to remove this binary view on stuff that is either wrong or good. I think it's much more complicated than that. But I think a very safe measure to have is that if your definition of a good life is something, for example, having your shit together, being financially stable, being emotionally stable, being okay. Now, if there's something that goes against it, you should automatically view it as wrong. And then you really think about, okay, so is porn something that supports my mental health, supports my financial situation, or is it something that doesn't really do anything for me and it just makes it worse? Now, obviously the latter is the case. Now, that is why Epicurus, he said that you should be smart about pleasures. You shouldn't just blindly engage in every single pleasurable activity. It doesn't mean that there's a bottle of alcohol, you have to drink it right now because it will make you happy in the moment. What's important is how it makes you feel after. So that's making the very simple argument for why porn would be wrong. Another important thing is that when it becomes a coping mechanism, shutting off, you don't really get anywhere in life. And then you look back at life with regret. So if you're not engaged in the porn industry, you wouldn't even care about the porn industry. And if you're not engaged in porn, well, it goes all together. It's like this loop. You don't watch porn, you get your shit together, and you get your shit together, and you don't have to watch porn. If you don't have your shit together, you have to shut off with other ways. It doesn't necessarily have to be just porn, right? But let's say we get to this point. So I'm this guy not watching porn. Would you then care for some fucking drama in the porn industry if you're not even part of it? I can't imagine it. Like, so I think a big point of emotional stability is not caring about shit that you don't have to care about. So now we've kind of arrived at the conclusion of figuring out that, oh, the ones discussing these OF models are actually the stupid ones. Because they're getting stressed over something that they have no control over. And it is making you miserable. It is literally, you're the one in pain. Maybe, like, I'm genuinely trying to think of what someone doing porn, like, what does it hurt you? It is their choice. Why should we talk into other people's lives? Now, enjoy the gameplay for a bit. I'm gonna try and think about a genuine reason as to why you would want to care, maybe. Give me a bit. So the issue is that I cannot genuinely figure out what people doing on OnlyFans are doing wrong. Maybe one thing that you can say is that you sold your soul. Well, okay, so it goes against Christianity. But if that is your belief alone, once again, why would you then care? Like, I would understand if it was someone close to you. But I think none of us know Bonnie Blue personally. Americans, they're very Christian, so I think it would make a lot of sense from that perspective to hate OnlyFans models. Now maybe I get to a point of understanding. But then again, I'm stuck at the problem here. The problem is, well, you don't have to care, because it's a person you clearly don't know. So, what's the way out of this one? Let me think for a bit. Maybe... Okay. Maybe the people don't want others to succeed. But maybe there can be someone that genuinely is so much into Christianity that they want to, like, save other people. Oh, this is very tough. It can be this messiah complex. I've also had this before. I've even said in one of my episodes, one of the most cringe lines I've said in my podcast is like that I would like put women in a training camp and save them from a life of misery. It's one of the most cringe lines. It wasn't meant this way, but the point I was saying is that there are some patterns of behaviors that will go against the life path you desire. And I think people should just be taught some things, because they genuinely don't know what they're doing. So maybe you can have this empathetic point of view where you want to kind of save these people that indulge in this hedonistic industry. They sell their bodies, and they would then go against the code of Christianity. Oh, I don't know. Now, the point of religion is going against your nature. I always thought it was kind of retarded, because if you really think about it, like, if there is a soul, then this body is just like a radio transmission that you're now tuned onto, and it shouldn't really matter what you do with it, because you will lose it anyway, so what does it fucking matter what you do with your body? And really though, how can you say that sleeping with someone for entertainment is wrong? I still cannot, like, I wish there was a counterpartner against me in this debate, because I'm debating myself. I'm trying to think about it, and I'm lost. I'm at a fucking point where I genuinely can't figure out what is it that's wrong about this. And I'm fucking playing Plants vs. Zombies while doing it. So let's think for a bit. What's another thing that could be wrong? So we've discussed that, okay, so from Christianity's point of view, it might be wrong, but that is just a quote that someone else told you. It's written in a book, and sure, you might religiously go by it. And if it is against your religion, it's against your identity, and that is very important for people. You know that people, when they learn how to manipulate in the CIA, it's actually the most convincing to use people's identity against them. This is actually what's called cognitive dissonance in psychology. So you have manipulators that use this trick. The way it works is very simple. Let's say you have a belief in yourself that you're a great husband. Now, your wife, she's a great manipulator. She tells you that, oh, I thought you were a great husband. And that is something you believe in yourself as such an important part of your identity. But then she says, well, if you're a great husband, why don't you buy me flowers? And then there's two things. So obviously you have this ego. You don't want to go against your core belief. So then you must either say, I'm not a great husband, or you must fulfill the requirement for you to be a great husband, which would be to buy your wife flowers. Now obviously I'm not trying to say that your wife wanting flowers is something evil. That's completely reasonable. But there's better ways to use this cognitive dissonance. It can be used for like more manipulative behaviors for your personal gain, and you shouldn't really use people as means for an end. Or you can use it for positive stuff. Like, let's say you want to support your friend in the gym, and he's doing a set of some lifting, whatever, and he's like so fucking tired, but he has this core belief in himself that he's the toughest person in the room. Well, you can actually use this narcissism against him, be like, well, I thought you're the toughest person in the room, and you're gonna end now. This is a great thing to do, because you will support your friend with it. So, how is it important in the case of Bonnie Blue? Well, if you're Christian, and if you're raised in a conservative household, where tradition is important and not, I guess, treating your body like an object for other people to use, then that's part of your identity. And once something goes against your identity, well, you either have to say it's okay, or which you won't do because you won't let it go against your identity, which the case can be, these OnlyFans models. They're clearly going against the family narrative. So you will say, well, clearly they have to be whores. Like something, you call them something derogatory, right? You call them something beyond your beliefs or below your personal beliefs of how life should be lived. So sure, it does make sense. We do now understand why people would call OnlyFans models whores. Now it makes much more sense to me now that I think about it. Still though, what is it that they're doing wrong? Now, I've said before that it is good to not indulge in hedonistic pleasures. So you might think that, okay, well, you said that, and these people are clearly indulging in the hedonistic industry, they're literally part of it. Aren't you kind of going against yourself? And once again, we have this cognitive dissonance. I have this belief of what I said. If I was quick about it and didn't really think deeply, I would just jump at the immediate answer, and I'd have to fall into the trap of saying, oh, yeah, that's right, that's the problem here. They do the hedonistic nature, therefore it has to be wrong. It's something against my belief. But I didn't say that. I said that I think that, first of all, life is individual. Like, there's no ultimate guide for life. But second of all, we talk about this guy, Epicurus. He said that you should be smart. You should maximize pleasure and minimize pain. And if we genuinely think about the capitalistic nature of the economy we live in, is what Bonnie Blue is doing maximizing pleasure while minimizing pain while being smart about it? Like, let's say that she was an alcoholic, drinking every single day, right? She's super trapped in this addiction, and what she is doing, she's actually maximizing pleasure in the short term, deal with her troubles, but in the long term, she's not minimizing pain, that there is much more pain to come. And that's where the issue comes from. Our opinions are so much shaped of what other people think about us. We tend to think that her building such a... Oh, now it makes sense to me. Because she built such a reputation for herself that... Oh my god, I think I've cracked the code. I think I've actually cracked the code with this. We will finish this level and we've cracked it. Bonnie Blue, she has built such a reputation for herself that she will get hated by other people. Now that is then seen as pain. But what if she doesn't care what other people think? And that's very unimaginable for us humans. Now, either these people can be very narcissistic, they can be either incredibly intelligent, they could be psychopathic, they can be, I don't fucking know, whatever you want to call them. They don't care about what other people think. And I also am on this wave, but not in everything. Like, I'm not that smart about it. But if you really think about it, this person, is she being smart about maximizing pleasure? She's doing something that she enjoys. She's doing something that's naturally pleasurable for the human body, just like drinking alcohol would be pleasurable for a person in the short term, but there is no long-term damage for her. And I think the reason why people would disagree is that they are not on the same wave of being so okay with what other people think about them. Or not caring so much about what other people think about them. So I think we have actually cracked the code with this one. The reason why Bonnie Blue is actually a smart hedonist, and Epicurus would be proud of her, is the fact that she managed to maximize pain while maximize joy while minimizing pain in a smart way. Because we have said before, she doesn't even have to be engaged in the sexual act. She's not getting taken care of. She's not doing something she doesn't want to do. She makes a living for it. There is no regret. Or there might be, I don't know. So that is actually fucking smart as fuck. Now, I will think about this topic more. Maybe we will talk a bit more about it in the next episode, but for today, we're done with this. Let me know in the comments. Like, it was quite an interesting talk. So, the major things we've uncovered is that people, they are most likely envious. There's this cognitive dissonance going on. This thing going against what you believe, what you were born in. So obviously you cannot agree with it. And we haven't actually uncovered the reason of what would be wrong with her doing this. But we have uncovered why people would think. And at the end of the day, it is actually a reasonable thing to think, because a lot of OnlyFans models, they do end up regretting this past. So it can be the case, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. So that's it for today. Let me know in the comments what you think. Sorry for yapping too much. Jesus, an hour by the time. Hopefully it made some sense to you. And see you in the next one. See ya.